Hi there, my name is Cole, and today we are going to be looking over every LEGO Speed Champions car in my collection here. And we are kind of doing this because it's the end of the year, and we're going to look at some of the cars I built this year, and some of the cars that I built previous years, and we're just going to go over the shelf, and because I think it will be kind of fun. But first, I must say, if you're watching this at the end of 2024, thank you to everyone who supported this channel and this whole operation in some way in 2024. Whether you just watched videos, you bought instructions, you ordered a custom model, thank you so much, because you are what makes this whole thing work, and this would just be a bunch of cars on the shelf without you, and not a somewhat bigger thing, and I really appreciate that, so thank you so much for that. Of course, we must say thank you, Jesus, for helping me do all this, because I'm not that smart. I couldn't do this on my own, so yeah. Alright, let's get going. This video is going to be long if I don't try to make it quick, so we're going to try to make it really quick. Let's start. Back up on this shelf in the back, we have the yellow Lamborghini Murcielago. I designed this model way back in 2022. Still one of my favorite models I've built, one of my favorite cars in real life. Little bit of an older model, somehow it's 2 years old this year, 3 years old next year. Time is flying, I don't know what's going on. Still, really like this in yellow, tan interior, something different. Very correct, period correct for Murcielagos. It looks really good, I'm very happy with this one. But we have another Murcielago up there that I like even better, which is the DriftWorks Murcielago, which is based off of this one. The YouTube channel DriftWorks, Phil Morrison, I think his name is, has this really cool racing style Murcielago. It looks insane car, and so we have a model of it up here. Also have a model of the High Card Murcielago, which belongs to my buddy who's known as High Card on Instagram, and he has a sick car. And this one also racing style, maybe a little bit more road focused than the DriftWorks one, but it's still got like a real Murcielago RGT wing on there and stuff. And this one has some custom printed 3D printed rims from Bricks, Blocks, and Knocks, which you made for me like 3 years ago or something. These are really old, but they look sick. So thank you, David, if you see this. And right now it's black. It used to be white. It used to have an anime livery. It kind of just reflects whatever state the real car is in. And now it looks like this. It's pretty sick. This car has also been together with the real car before. There's a picture of it when it was white. And so a couple of these have. So I'm going to point those out. But yeah, this Murcielago is one of them. Next to that, we have the Ferrari F40 LM, which I built at the beginning of this year. This model, I really liked it when I built it. Looking back at it, it's actually extremely unstable, and so I want to redo it maybe at the beginning of next year, because it looks really good. And there are a couple parts that could use some fixes, especially after building the official F40 set. A little bit different, non-red F40, and one of my favorite models to have. There's a couple cars, a couple racing liveries. I'm like, these are my favorite cars. I'm trying to get all of them built. This is one of them. I'll point out the others as I go. Moving onto this shelf, you'll notice that the Ferrari F50 GT, which is usually always here, is missing because I'm working on a version 2. And so maybe I'll make a video on that at like the beginning of the year or something. It's not going to be super different, but it's going to look a lot better than the old one. Over here, we have, let's go to the back there, we have the Ferrari F2004 F1 car, which I made around the time I did the F50 GT, actually, towards the end of 2021, I believe. And I'm still happy with this model. There's not too much more you can do to get this car to look right, and one of my favorite F1 cars, and so pretty happy with this model. I think it still looks very nice and clean. Then we have the Ferrari 512M, I believe it's called, set, which is just one of the greatest sets, Speed Champions sets ever to exist. Shout out Dylan if you're watching this video, thank you for that set. Yeah, insane set. It's kind of hidden right now on the shelf, but with the F2004 and the F40 LM and the F50 GT when it comes back, they all look really sick together. If you can get that set used, I would recommend it. Then we have the Lamborghini Diablo here, the Mad Lane version. This is basically a Lamborghini Diablo, which has been modified by a guy in Japan who has a company known as Mad Lane, and they do all sorts of crazy modified stuff, and including this Diablo, which just is, it's kind of GTR inspired, and it just looks insane. And this is another car that, not a race car necessarily, but just one car that I'm super happy to have a model of because it's one of my favorite existing cars in real life. This model has aged really well in my opinion. Built it after I built the F40 at the beginning of this year, and I think it looks sick, and I want to do more Diablo variations. I've just been kind of busy working on other stuff. Moving over here, we have the Toyota T100 Baja truck, which I actually designed summer of 2023. I made a video on it recently. Admittedly, that video was not very good. I hope you got something out of that video if you watched it, but this model, one of my absolute favorite models, really different than most of mine, completely different, just way of putting it together. Barely sure, it doesn't share anything really with any of my other models. Of course, it's a truck, but it's like 9 studs wide, and it's got the whole livery, and it's got all these details on it, and it's just really cool. And it's just one of my favorite models that I built. Moving back up here, we have the BMW hybrid LM GTP car. I can't remember what it's called. And this is honestly, like, it's not perfect, but as far as Lego sets go, I really like this one. I'm probably biased because I just really like the GTP cars, but I think it's pretty sick. Is it the greatest one ever? No. Do better models built by other people exist? probably. But I like this one, and we're keeping it up on the shelf for now. Next to that, we have the Countach set. Again, do better models built by other people exist? Yes. Is this a really good set? Yes. This one has no wing on it, because I think I had to steal the parts to use it for something else. And I just thought, oh, hey, it looks like a wingless Countach now, so we'll just keep it that way. But yeah, really good set, and it's really cool to have. Well, now we have Countach, Diablo, Murcielago. I did do an Aventador, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but some of the big Lamborghinis. Over here, we have the Dodge Viper ACR, and this is the 2008 ACR, I think. Now, a while back, I built two of these, you may remember. Early 2023, maybe it wasn't that early actually. The video probably came out around the middle of 2023. Either way, based off of another real life car that I've seen before. This one is also put together with the real car, and I got a picture, which you can see here. Shout out to David for kind of arranging this little photo shoot. And again, another model that I'm quite happy with how it rains. It's still got the little sticker stripes along the top, and I think it looks really sick. Over here, we have the Barracuda, owned by my friend Aaron. Now, those of you who watched that video will know who Aaron is. Buddy of mine who owns a couple of extremely cool cars, including this Barracuda, which he imported from New Zealand and modified, and it's just an insanely sick car. And I've got to ride in it once, and it's just like the wildest thing, and it is just incredibly cool looking car, and it's so different, and I really like the car, as you can tell. And so this, another card, I'm super happy to have a model of one of my favorite models I've ever built. Again, super weird techniques that aren't really shared with any of my other models, and I think it looks super clean, it still captures all the lines and details of the car, and yeah, just super happy with that one. And it's got the weird asymmetrical paint scheme that the real car has, which I think is really sick. In the back here, we have the 2005 Ford GT, which I think I also built around the end of 2021, I think. That was a long time ago. And this model is pretty good. I still really like this headlight design I came up with, which is a little bit complicated. The rear is maybe a little bit simpler than it could be. Perhaps they could use some more detail. And then the windscreen is just not great with bars. I don't know, it just flops all over the place. And so maybe some other better solution exists now. But I still think it's a pretty good model. It just kind of sits at the back of the shelf here. Next to it, we have a really old model, which is the 930 Turbo. And this model, amusingly, doesn't really need an update. So it's not a very solid build. 7 studs wide in the front, 8 in the back to get the big turbo flares. But it's actually pretty detailed, and there's nothing really I would change about it. It still captures all the parts of the 930 Turbo that I would want to capture. And yeah, it's just been sitting in the back of the shelf here for a very long time. Then in front of those, we have the 3 McLaren F1 GTRs, which are my favorite cars that exist in real life. They may be $20 million and almost entirely unobtainable, but they're just extremely cool cars. And so here we have 3 of them. On the left here, we have the 01R chassis that won Le Mans. It has the black and gray livery, it has the fog lights in the nose, and it looks pretty sick. We have a Lark livery one based on the JGTC, Japanese Grand Touring Car Championship one, which is specifically my favorite car of all time. I have it on my phone case here, and I love the Lark livery with the red and gray, or the pink and gray as it looks in some photos. And so this is my Lego representation of it. And it has really cool 3D printed rims from Brick to Brick 15 on Instagram, and he did tire stickers for it as well. I know this car definitely didn't run Toyota tires proxies on it, but they look pretty sick anyway. And next to that we have, I think it's like 17R. I don't exactly remember what the chassis name is, but it's got the Fina livery, like I think it's like the BMW livery, something like that. White and dark blue car. And the reason I built this one is because I heard that I would have a chance to see the real thing, and so this one did get to see the real thing, and I got a picture of it, which you can see here. Probably the most extreme Lego car with the real car thing that I'll ever do. It's still kind of weird that it just happened, but at Laguna Seca Raceway in August, and it was very sick. If you've seen the video, you know this, but the Barracuda also got to be with the real Barracuda, and so another one on this list. I changed the channel banner to this like collage of all the pictures I've taken like this, if you want to see them, but well, you're going to see them here anyway, I guess. Moving back, we have a spaceship. I don't know why this is here. It's just like, this is a really good set. You should buy it if you like spaceships. It just kind of hides in the back of the shelf here with all the cars. Then we have the Mercedes C124, which is currently missing its roof because I had to steal the tiles for something else. This is a cool little model, very heavily based off my W140. Just shortened, and the roof is shortened, and that's basically it. And this is also running custom 3D printed rims from Brick to Brick 15 AMG monoblocks, and they look really sick. In front of that, we have a Porsche GT2 RS, 911 GT2 RS, 991.2, and this one is based off of a real car, which used to have this crazy pink pig livery, and it looked really sick. Unfortunately, I was unable to get the car together with the real one, while the real car still had this livery on it. This is still a pretty good model, though. This is like early 2023 again, I think. I built this. It's got gold spray painted wheels, which look pretty sick. Gray fenders because couldn't find any pink off-brand fenders and couldn't spray paint them the right color, so this somewhat matches. And the sticker livery by 4Wart Sticker looks really, really sick. So again, extremely happy at how this one turned out. Really added some nice variation to this collection with the pink. Next to that, we have a 993 911, and this is dark blue, also based off of a car in real life. Again, I have not got this one together with the car in real life, but it's a nice little model. Pretty simple. Maybe it could be, I'm debating whether 993 should be 7 wide or 8 wide, because this one's 8 wide, my 930 is 7 wide, and it looks right, but the 993 is a bit bigger than the 930, so I don't know. This is a really technical Porsche stuff, which most of you probably don't care about. Down here, we have what is probably the oldest model I have here, which is the Liberty Walk NSX. I haven't said the word Liberty Walk in so long, it's crazy. I used to be like, when I was like 17, these were like the coolest thing ever, and then I kind of just like, now I think they're kind of like, okay, they're kind of cool, but like I don't care that much. I wouldn't get one if I had a car that one existed for, but probably if you ask me now, I'd say the same. That my favorite existing body kit for that Liberty Walk had was for the NSX, and so I built one for my NSX. It still looks pretty good. It's not perfect. The front, there's actually a lot of decent techniques here. This one didn't age horribly. It uses an old wide body technique. I say old because I haven't used it in a long time, with jumper plates to get the wheels to stick out. I don't know if a better one exists by this point, but I wouldn't be surprised if one does. This is by far the oldest model on this shelf. Like, definitely a early 2021, I would say, on this one. Next to that, we have the Audi Quattro set. Again, another really good set. For some reason, all the Lego Speed Champion sets of old cars just are incredibly good. And yeah, this is about older cars. Well, not necessarily classics, but like the 80s, 90s stuff. And so this one is great. Really not that complicated of a build, but it gets the Quattro shape and detail across really nicely. And this one's also had some modifications to remove some studs on them because the original one had quite a few studs on it. Up front here we have the Garage 56 NASCAR Camaro, modified to race at Le Mans, which raced in 2023. Designed this one early summer of this year, and I'm pretty happy with it. It looks a little bit simple, but the real car is not an incredibly complicated shape, so this one just has, it's not too crazy, but I'm fairly happy with how it turned out. I do like the front stuff and the livery. And then I also managed to get a picture of this model together with the real thing at Laguna Seca Raceway, same time I got it with the McLaren. So just weird series of events that led to that, considering I built it like 2 months before. I didn't even know I would be able to see the real thing, and so it worked out quite nicely. Next to that, we have the Lancia Delta Integrale. This one's a blue one. This one was based off of the car Tyler, the creator, had, that was in the What's Your Name music video, and maybe in some other videos. It might have been in the Lemonhead video, and it was seen around Los Angeles several times. And then I think that was a wrap. If it wasn't a wrap, either way, the car is now wrapped in this like tan color. Don't know how I'm going to recreate that in Lego, so we're going to keep the blue around because it looks quite nice. It's kind of iconic. Another one of my favorite models. It's definitely, the design's a big compromise in this blue color because I have to use some gray parts for parts that don't exist in the blue color, but it still looks quite good. Okay, all the way back here, it's like really far back there, we have my Event Store SVJ, which is again like a mid-2022 model. This one's fine. I really liked this car when I made it, and now I don't really care about the car so much anymore, so that probably counts as part of that, but it's a decent model. If I built it against it would definitely be a lot better, but I don't really care about it enough to build it again. I'm not quite sure why it's still here. It is in the lime green, which looks really nice, but maybe I'll take it apart and build something else in lime green. Also up there we have the Nissan GTR, R34 GTR, the Auto Select livery. It's like back there somewhere. And so it's bright yellow with some black and a big wing and stuff like that. It looks really sick based off of this car. I built this one late summer of this year. Also built the stock version, which got turned into this version. Next up, we have the Porsche 968 LRD L'Automobile. I hope I messed that pronunciation really bad, but I wanted to try. This is a Porsche 968 that was messed with by French car dealer fashion whatever operation called LRD L'Automobile. I think that was slightly better. And so it's kind of like a concept car. It looks really sick. Early 2023, I heard this car would be on display at a car show, so I put this together in like 3 days and got some pictures with it and met the dude who owns the whole operation, and so that was pretty sick. And the car still sits here. So another one that we have a picture with the real car with. Next up, we have the BMW M4 from the set with the GTP car, and this is the GT3 M4, I should say. And this is, again, a really good model. Maybe not the best, but I like it a lot. This one doesn't have stickers on it because I want to see how it would look. And I coincidentally actually designed a M4 GT3 model myself. I just haven't built it yet, so it's probably going to come out in the video next year. You guys will see that eventually. And then moving down here, we have this Porsche 911 GT2 RS, which is built probably late 2021, if I had to guess, maybe early 23 or 22. And this one is very funny because it's built in this turquoise color, which looks really sick, but I also chopped up these fenders with a Dremel tool, as some who watched this video a very long time ago will remember, to get the headlights to look right. And this has been greatly, this is in certain circles, this is a recurring joke, and so some of you will know what I mean. It's still here for some reason, I don't know why. Maybe it's just never going to cease existing, it's going to be here forever. Next to that, we have the Zenvo TSRS, which I built also back in like mid-2022. This one is based off of Shmee 150's car, and it's very funny because I used to be like a big Shmee 150 fan when I was like, however old I was when I built this. And now I'm not, like, I still think Shmee 150 is cool, but like I don't watch them at all these days because I have other things to do. And so it's kind of funny that I built this car. I cared about it a lot, and I don't really care so much. I mean, I still think he's cool, but you know what I mean. However, I was able to get a picture of this one with the real car because the real car happened to be on display at a place I could access, the Peterson Museum. And so I was like, hey, let's bring this guy along and go take some pictures. In an incredibly strange series of coincidences, or whatever you want to call it, this car has pictures with the real car, which is, I still find so weird because like I did not plan this at all. Then next up we have the Tom's Castrol Supra, which is kind of an evolution of my previous Supra design from 2 years ago, which is a evolution of my design from the year before that. And this one is infinitely better than both of those, and it looks really cool. Got the brick built livery. Actually, a relatively complex build to get the bodywork to all look right, and I'm quite happy with this one. And I want to build some other JGTC cars. I mean, we have one in the McLaren F1 GTR here, but I want to build some more to go with them. And then finally, well, not quite finally, we'll get some more finally in a minute, but finally on this level at least, we have the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, which is the only SUV here. There's a truck, I guess, here, but it's the only SUV, I think. Yeah, it looks like it. It was just because I wanted to build a Cullinan and make the hood ornament go in and out, and the hood ornament does go in and out, and so it's pretty cool. And it's dark green with a tan interior, which I also think looks really sick. And some people have pointed out that Tyler, the creator, owns a Rolls-Royce Cullinan. I think it was in the, he's mentioned it in a couple of songs about a green Cullinan, green Rolls-Royce, and he's also, I think it's also in the Lemonhead video. But this was just like, I just wanted to build a green Cullinan because I think it looks cool. Let's see, up on the shelf we also have the Ferrari F40, my modification of the official set. Most recent video, and I'm fairly happy with it, although it's going to be taken apart soon because I use a bunch of parts to make the F50 GT version 2. Also up here we have Kaneda's bike from Akira, which I'm very happy with. Definitely a very different model, but I was a big fan of watching that last year, and so at the beginning of this year I built it, and it looks really sick. We have the Ornithopter from Dune, which is just a beast, and it's only fallen off the shelf once, and so pretty good track record. It's not incredibly stable, it's still pretty floppy. These wings are not great, they're like, it's really janky and illegal, but I think it looks sick. Yeah, it's really cool to kind of have it looking over my room here. Yeah, definitely like don't bump into this because it's gonna go flying, but not in a good way. That's basically it for the collections. I'm not going to keep you guys here any longer. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at it. Let me know what else you'd like me to build. There's a small chance that I will end up building one of your suggestions. And yeah, if you'd like to build any of these models yourself, I have instructions for all of them at my website. I'll link to them down below. That's basically it. So thank you guys again so much. And with that, I hope you will return for the next video.